All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you enjoyed that Gen 2 CFORCE 500 video down at the creek. And we've got one here today that we're going to assemble. Mr. Mark here is going to be putting this one together. This is how it comes in the crate. I can't believe I haven't done a assembly video yet, but that's it right here. This is the blue. I don't even think I've showed you one as far as in a video yet. But guys, I think I may talk my wife into letting me have this one. I don't know. But look, what I'm going to do in this video, Mark's going to be assembling it. And we're going to just kind of talk about a few things that, for any of you that own a Gen 2 or are interested in one, you'll see kind of how to get some of the plastic off, because we're actually going to have to remove some of the plastic. We're also going to show you how the stock intake is for like this right here actually is where the inlet of the CVT is. So you notice it's up very high, where as before it's behind, on the other model, it was behind the wheel well on the right hand side if you're sitting on the machine. And if you blasting through a water hole, water would get up in it. But this one's actually located up high and out of the way. And I'll show you the rest of it in the video. So look, stay tuned to the end, because we're going to give you tips. We're going to show you how this thing is built, and it'll be a good video. So Mark, let's get after it, bud. We've already got our battery out that came in the crate and getting it set to the side. We've removed just some of the plastic and everything, so everything is exposed now. And again, like I said, throughout the whole video, we'll show you some tips, so make sure that you watch through the end so you don't miss anything. So on the ECU, if you got a crate, or if this, I'm trying to help out other shops too, because they watch these videos and learn how to assemble these as well. So if you got a crate in and you didn't have an ECU, I'm going to show you where to put it. Also, if those of you that are going to be getting an MSC tune for your Gen 2 500, which we're working on right now, this is how you would access your ECU. It's under the rear rack, and you just pop up these body panel clips, remove that plastic cover, and your ECU is located right there. It's going to be 2 Allen head bolts, and also it has one big plug, and we'll show you how to take that up real quick. All right, Mr. Mark has a 4mm, and I'm just going to carefully remove that. Now we're going to just give us some access to that plug a little better. Mark, show us the little trick to getting this tab off of this particular ECU.
You're going to push this little tab right here.
Push that down and then flip that over, and that actually will unplug it. And that's it. And then for those of you that in the future will be shipping your ECU to us to get that MSC tune, that's how you do that. And then when you plug it back up,
if this isn't open all the way, you have to line that slot right there.
Okay.
It can be
line it up, and then pulling that lever there will actually plunge that in all the way. Yeah. Make sure it snaps all the way. And then we'll put our Allen head back in. But anyways, that's just a quick tip. If you ever need to access your ECU for some reason, or if you happen to be a dealership shop and needing to know where to put that. So anyways, that's on the Gen 2 500 here. Move to the front of the machine, and we're going to take this front rack off, the center piece here. And one thing that's really cool about this particular one, it's got a non-skid surface, or a non-slip surface, and that's really neat part of this one, because you got like some plastic here, but then it's got more of a grippy texture right in this area. So pretty neat little add-on. All right, slide that off. You can see that was 4 grommet pieces here. And then what was that back side that you popped up?
It's
just these little tabs?
Yeah, they got to push in before you can pop these in.
Okay, so. Okay, yeah. And those lined up right in here. So really nice design there, a lot better than the Gen 1 cap that was kind of easy to break, but this one, very stout, perfect design. And this is where you would access for your brake fluid, radiator, your fuse box. So this is like a video that you could watch that will help you in the future if you're ever trying to get access to the engine compartment and whatnot for maybe a spark plug change, whatever the case may be. Mark here is going to kind of show us how to remove this plastic here. Of course, he already took the gas cap off, and just kind of take us through the steps here, Mark.
You'll just start up here and give it a good pull right there, and then come down along the body. And you have another one here that pulls out.
Yeah, that's a rubber grommet. That's a rubber grommet.
Same thing on the other side.
This one, you already popped that side up mostly, yeah. Boom. Well, that is easy, ain't it? There you go. So now, have that up out of the way. And
so that's really the hardest part.
Right, yeah, getting this clip here, which is in the center, and that just kind of pops in there. And let's take a look at the heat shielding design of this Gen 2. So the Gen 1, there's no denying there was a lot of heat that would come out on your right leg if you're driving the machine. And I've driven several of these, Mark, and the Gen 2, just test driving and all that stuff. Joel has one, and man, we rode it in the middle of the summer, and I never felt any abnormal heat or excessive heat on my right leg. It felt the same as my left leg.
Yeah, these are a lot cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. So show us the right over here on the plastic you took off. So they got heat shielding here all down this side, and then they also have, you know, your heat shielding all through here, and then right here where you would feel a lot on your right calf muscle, they've got even more heat shield. So another big thing is the space. So there's a lot more airflow through this cavity right here, which makes a big difference. And the radiator here, or the grill rather, is a lot more open and allows more airflow, and there's just so much more room.
They've got this
Yeah,
to
that's
where air goes right through here.
Yeah.
And passes under this fan.
Yeah, that is nice. So yeah, a lot of air can flow through there. It's vented here, and so there's a lot more air movement, and it's not all crowded and packed in right here, and it's just able to flow through the machine. And of course right now it's slammed because we don't even have the suspension on it, but it's just a lot more airflow. It keeps the exhaust and the machine running cooler, and it keeps our legs cooler. So awesome job, CFMOTO. While we're at it, Mark just pointed out again, like I said, this is your air intake for your engine. So it's right up here, just beneath the gas cap here. So it's up high and out of the way, which is really nice. I love that design. And the like I said, the air intake for your CVT is here. So the only other thing you have to be worried about as far as water getting in your CVT would be the outlet here. So it comes out right here, and of course it's going to be kind of hard to see until we jack it up and put the suspension on it. But what it does is it tucks around right here and goes up high, and I lost it in the camera. Well, you're just gonna have to trust me, but it goes and tucks up above the top half of this exhaust pipe and blows on the muffler here. So it's just on the other side of the muffler, blowing on it to keep it cool as well. So it's pretty high as well. It's higher than the previous generation. So all your intake and outlet mounted up high Really good design. Also, while we're back here, they got rid of the whole having to have a Phillips head screwdriver to access your air filter. And all it is these tabs here are metal clips. You'll pop them off and then just lift the lid up and access your air filter so that you can easily do maintenance on it, replace your air filter, clean your air filter and whatnot. So anyways, now we're going to mount the gauge cluster, and then we will start assembling everything and get this thing up on its wheels and start breaking her in. So another reason we had to remove the cap, which you can get away without removing the whole center plastic area and just kind of hold up and pry to the side to access this screw tab to be able to mount your gauge cluster or your LCD screen. And that you have to access this screw tab. So anyways, Mark is plugging up our display, and then yeah, we got to remove those star bit bolts or Torx bit.
Star or 10mm.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get those lined up and get that screwed in and tightened down. Just one thing to make sure that you do, these flatter profile actually go here and here, and they were already in the bolt holes here, so make sure that those stay up front and these flat profile goes in the corners. All right, now we're going to simply put our front cap back on. Remember, those notches slide in, and then you got your 4 grommets that are going to pop in, and you'll just feel those go in place, and that's it. We're going to go back on with our center plastics. Dude, the fit and finish on these are awesome. So we'll go make sure that lines up. I'll come over here and film Mark, but just line everything up and get all your grommets popped in. You know, on some machines I've had in the past, not CFMOTO, but other manufacturers, when you get them brand new, the fit and finish looks good, and nice. But man, if you ever disassembled one and tried to go back with it, it was a pain in the rear. And things just wouldn't line back up right, stuff like that. But I haven't found that to be the case with these CFMOTOs. They all fit and finish is really nice, always go back together just like they should. All right, now that that's all back done, we'll mount our handlebar next, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this clip.
Yeah, we can do that. Screw them all the way down. She's on. We're going to go ahead and put the battery in, and that way we can put the seat on and then do our handlebars. So, slides right in. Perfect fit. We'll get our included screws there, and make sure you put the positive cables on the positive. Yeah, you don't want a loose cable. Make sure you tighten these up really well, but don't strip them out either. You got to get a cheater bar out and try to bow up on it, but you want to get them, nice and tight. That way you don't have any loose connections. This particular one doesn't have a battery strap, but rather a battery bar, and that's also the mount for the seat, and it holds down the battery from bouncing around inside the battery compartment. So that's just that's 13mm?
13, yeah.
Yep. So we'll snug that up, and that will allow our seat to clip in, and these rubber grommets here for the seat to the tabs that are on the seat to lock in here, and that'll be that. And this seat is super comfortable. I really like these Gen 2 seats, man.
Yeah, they're super soft.
Yeah,
I think they're memory foam.
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice stuff. So anyhow, we'll slide that on. So just like that, and that's it. She's in. I like that. It's got a good no slip texture. It's got C-Force in the seat. Very nice. All right, now we're gonna install our handlebars. We'll get that lined up, and this is where you can kind of position how you want the handlebars to feel. You can kind of roll them back a little bit or move them towards the front. That's all personal preference. Normally, your dealership is going to just kind of put it in a medium setting for, you know, the average driver. So we're going to use just some blue Loctite and for the bolts here, because we don't want them backing out.
Takes a little bit.
Just a little dab will do you. And we'll get everything lined up how we want it and then tighten those down. And then we'll move on to the next step. Here is a quick tip for you, and this is something that Mark does. First of all, he's going to tighten these by hand. But one thing he was wanting to make sure that we pointed out for you is you want to make sure that this gap is coming down evenly.
You see how it's bigger on this side than this side?
Yes. So you want to...
I'm going to loosen this one a hair.
And try to get it even, right?
Yeah.
And that's just a small little tip for you, but important. Then we'll come back, tighten that down. Yeah, that's looking good.
These
looking
don't
real
have to
good.
Be super tight because they can break.
Yeah, don't over tighten it. And that's why he's doing it by hand, because he can feel, you know, how tight it is without, you know, because not everybody, not all of you are going to have a torque wrench at your house, or if you ever want to adjust this. So that's why we wanted to film this part as well, to just give you a little tip there for you. Now that we have the handlebars where we want them, Mark is now putting the controls, the switches and all that stuff, mounting them like they need to be. And so you just kind of got to line that up.
If you ever have to replace this, there's a pin right here, and there's a hole underneath this handlebar. And that little pin has to
line up inside that hole.
That's what keeps it from, you know,
rotating on you. See, I didn't even know that, man. Yeah, I can't believe, like, this is the first model that we've had out for a little while that I haven't done a out of the crate install video. So I was kind of slacking there, man, but finally we getting it out there for the people. We got us a little Phillips head screw there. We'll tighten that down, and then this just...
Yeah, if you don't have that pin lined up, this won't
work out right.
Yeah.
All right, we got some long screws that are going to go, they go through the bottom?
Yep, they go through the bottom.
Okay.
You don't ever want to put Loctite on these either.
Yeah.
Plastic.
And don't want to strip them out either. It don't take much. So just get those in, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Now we're just going to mount up our brake and master cylinder there with our winch control. And Mark, you just kind of get that in the area that you want it and where it's comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So just use your hardware and screw that on. As we put this on the thumb throttle, it's also your four-wheel drive actuator switch. The switch for it, the controls to go two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and diff lock. We're going to just put that on. It only goes on one way. We'll go ahead and kind of start our threads on our screws, and then we'll roll it around to the position that we want and then tighten it down. One thing that the majority of you are not going to have to worry about, because your machine, you're going to buy it, it's already going to be assembled and whatnot. But for those of you that are maybe a couple of guys that are watching this that work at another shop and you're assembling them, the suspension is you know, they come, all 4 of them are not mounted up. So you have to mount that up. And at first you can be confused on which one goes where. They're really close to the same size, but the bolt holes will be, the rear is slightly longer as far as the bolt holes, as far as how they line up. But you'll notice the spring is a little more compressed, or it's a shorter spring physically. And then, but the biggest thing that you can tell is this cone shape. This one goes in the rear, and you'll also see one of them's going to be marked. And so you can look at, you know, where it's marked at on the chassis right here, set green. Well, that's where that one's going to go, but not all of them are marked. So just letting you know that, that the one with the shorter spring, physically, when you just look at it, how it is the one that goes in the rear with the cone, and then this one goes up front. So just letting you know, we're going to bolt that up. That's something that we have to do here at the shop. We'll make sure that we get all that tight and like it should be, and then we'll set it back down after we mount our tires up, and we'll torque our tires, our lug nuts rather, and then we will set this back down, put some gas in it, and I'll pick back up when we do that. We've got the tires aired up. We've got everything is done. We're putting in the fuel, and just enough to get her cranked up and run it to the gas station, and I'll top her off, and then we'll be doing some videos. So look, there's going to be some good Gen 2 CFORCE 500 content coming soon, as well as, you know me, I'm always spreading the love across the lineup as much as I can. I know I haven't done a U-Force 1000 video, or the crew cab rather. I've been focusing on other ones because there's just not that many crew cabs out there yet. So, but I'm about to jump back on that and do some videos with my crew cab, and giving you all kinds of how-to videos, showing you new products that Main Street Cycle is constantly coming out with, and all that good stuff. So, yep, I like this thing, man. I'm excited. Let's crank it up, and then we will conclude this video.
I usually cycle it.
Yeah, prime the old fuel pump up a little bit. That's our first crank up. That display is nice. I'll probably leave that protective screen on there for just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's. Oh yeah, first crank up. Get that fuel primed through the system. Uh-oh. That's all right. She was bone dry, so look at there. There she goes. Yep. We'll do check all the lights. We'll do a heat cycle. We'll check the winch and just all the electrical stuff, the four-wheel drive, all that normal stuff that we do over every unit before it leaves the shop. That way, when the customers get it, they know they are getting one that has been checked over with a fine-tooth comb. But anyways, I'll go run it down the road and all that stuff. We got more videos coming on this one soon. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Always give the videos thumbs up and leave a comment. It always helps me out. I appreciate it. Make sure that you go to check out the website. There's new stuff that's added to it pretty much daily, at least every other day for sure. Don't miss the weekly sales. Items that go on sale from mainstreetcycle.com. I'll post that every Monday. And yeah, so that's all. Anyways, guys, God bless you. As always, remember to keep it real. mainstreetcycle.com is the place to go. See you in the next one.